So, the sinking ship, the grand applause. What an episode. This episode was probably one of my favorites of the season so far. Now, I know I always say that this season's episodes are pretty good, every one in a row. That's just because season 4 has been my favorite season so far. Just for all of you who keep asking that question, what season is your favorite? But honestly, episode 15 was good because we got a lot of hallmarking kind of moments, well, for me personally. And that's mainly, obviously, because of a few reasons. I really enjoyed this Poison Ivy for one, so this was really cool, obviously because this was quite an Ivy-centric episode, but there's a lot of unanswered things, or things that people wanted kind of resolved or escalated in that part of the story. For example, the Bruce teenage angst, which is what, I keep referring to it as. And also, obviously, the Riddler situation, what's going on with this split personality, that got resolved in this episode as well. But anyway, guys, before I go on, welcome to my Gotham Season 4 Episode 14 Q&A and review. Well, review first and Q&A. I noticed a couple of you were like, I really like this new format of videos, but I want to kind of know your thoughts on the episode as well, which is fair enough. So now I'm kind of trying to add a couple of minutes of a review before I go into the Q&A for all of you who missed the old actual review format. I'm only doing trying to do it like a brief summary instead of going on and on for like a 10-minute review video. So if you go on to enjoy this video, I'd really appreciate it if you hit that thumbs up button and also subscribe to this channel if you're new, because obviously there will be plenty of more Gotham videos to come, and hopefully we're going to get a season 5. And I just want to address that very quickly. Everyone is celebrating that Gotham has been renewed for season 5, and multiple news outlets are saying it's been officially confirmed. Now, I'm not crapping on anyone's parade or anything like that, but official confirmation means that Fox have announced that they've renewed it, and that hasn't happened yet. It's just that insiders have said that they've quietly greenlit it, which, is very exciting, but I just don't want everyone to get hope just in case it doesn't. So that's why I haven't made a video on it yet, in case everyone was wondering. I keep seeing in the comment section saying, have you seen that Gotham is being renewed for season 5? So it probably has. Let's hope so. I made, will Gotham get renewed or something video for season 5 before, saying that I think it will. But, have to wait and see, guys. But let's party when it's actually time to party. And I just realized I said the sinking ship, the grand applause earlier, but it's actually Reunion. So let's talk about Reunion. Already have very briefly, but this episode, as I said, was one of my favorites. I just loved so many moments of it. Now, obviously, quite a few of your questions will be, in this Q&A will be asking me about various points in the episode, but my favorite moments is just that the fact that we're getting Bruce back, with Alfred. That is actually finally happening. It just wasn't right without those two being together. I really liked Ivy this episode. That was just fantastic. I know some people think she's OP and overpowered, but she is really. I just think she's more overpowered because even though she's incredibly comic book accurate, it's like in Gotham at the minute, nobody is really at her level. So it's like we've got future Poison Ivy already now. So like, how do you stop her, when Batman isn't around and you've only got GCPD and Jim, get taken her out. I loved her powers and everything like that. I thought the interactions between her and Selena was very interesting. As I said, I can't say too much until I get into the Q&A because I've already got questions about moments like this. The Jim Gordon and Bruce Batman thing, oh my god, but yet again, I guess I will save that because I've got questions like that in the Q&A. Sophia Falcone power tripping her way around the Narrows and interrupting Lee, just getting in the way of Lee, and that was, Jesus Christ, that was something else, that part of the episode. But honestly, I'm just going to wrap it up here. Like, this episode was an episode I think a lot of fans have been waiting for since the break, whether that's because of the Bruce teenage angst stuff, we get more Poison Ivy, but also some more Nig Mobblepot stuff. I know a lot of people will love that, but also hate that. Yeah, I definitely give this a high rating out of 10, like an 8.5. It was that good. Even though people are complaining, as usual, this will never stop, that Jerome wasn't in the episode. It doesn't need Jerome. I'm not going to go on about that, but this was a prime example of Gotham have all these other storylines, and that's what's also important about the show. You don't need to lean on, this amazing actor Cameron Monaghan for it to be successful. But anyway, let's get on with the Q&A. So Minor asks, do you think that Bruce will play a role in taking Sophia down? I honestly don't think so. I could be wrong, as I always say, I don't know all the inside information behind the episodes, but I don't think so. I think stuff like Bruce's storyline will be kept kind of separate from Sophia Falcone, whereas, yeah, fair enough, he's involved with a lot of stuff and crossing over storylines with Jim and Ivy to a degree and stuff like that. I honestly don't think he'll play much of a role. I don't really see that happening, but it could do. But I wouldn't think he would have much of a role, if any, to take Sophia down. Luke Churchill asks, with Riddler no longer in the Narrows with Grundy, now working with Penguin, what's next for Grundy? Honestly, I think that he's still going to be with the whole Lee group. And I know, Ed is now the Riddler, so you could argue he's not really going to be around Lee anymore. But I definitely think there's going to be some kind of conclusion or more continuation of that story. He's not just going to walk out of the Narrows. Because there's going to be like that moment where Lee sees the Riddler now and she'll be like, Ed, and he's going to be like, what do you want? Kind of thing like that. And there's going to be a bit of drama there. I honestly don't truly know. I've seen some set photos of Grundy, looking pretty badass. It's kind of very much so a Butch/Grundy thing they're going for the rest of this season. I honestly think that Grundy is going to still continue protecting Pretty Lady, and at least, maybe even continue with this villains team up, because he's not going to be separate to that. I think he's still going to be involved with what, this whole massive villains team up with Jerome in the second half of this season is going to be. Carlos Acosta asks, do you think Penguin will take Jerome with him when Riddler helps him? By the way, I love your work. Thank you very much, Carlos. Really appreciate that, man. As for will Penguin take Jerome with him when the Riddler basically breaks him out? No. Penguin and Riddler are just going to break out together. We saw that in the trailer, Riddler's just running out, shooting his pistol, and yeah, love that. But as for Jerome, he's escaping with the Mad Hatter, I believe, in episode 16. So that's going to be something to look forward to. But yeah, it's just going to be Penguin and Jerome. But I think they'll rekindle outside of the walls of Arkham Asylum, so don't worry about that. Porg asks, do you think Riddler really took over, or is Ed tricking Oswald? I actually have received multiple questions like this. Is Ed secretly, tricking Oswald? That's always a possibility, but no, I honestly think this is a legitimate thing. They very evidently showed Ed really struggling with the Riddler personality sitting across from him in a chair and stuff like that. And I think he really did take over in that moment where, Ed looked up like that and he just changed. I think this is legitimate, and I don't think Ed is tricking Oswald. I think, honestly, the Riddler has been born again, and Ed is tucked away for now, at least. Nathan Taylor asks, why does Ed never seek out help for his split personality? Ask Leslie Tompkins, she'd help. Honestly, I think maybe he even has. In the last episode, he was taking, I think, pills for, I think, basically split personality disorders, trying maybe psychoactive drugs or whatever you call them to kind of keep you in check. Basically, comic book logic, it won't work for him. It's going to happen anyway. It was inevitable. So, unfortunately, yeah, it's just one of those things where even if he did, and maybe he did behind the scenes, it doesn't really do much. It's just something that is going to happen. Carlos Acosta also asks, why wasn't Jerome in this episode? Just because he wasn't. Simple as that. This is to all the Jerome fans out there. There are plenty of other storylines to focus on, and that they need the screen time for. So whether even if they included 2 minutes of Jerome in this episode, that's 2 minutes of, for example, Bruce not being that Batman moment, 2 minutes of no Riddler and Penguin, 2 minutes of no Sophia and Lee, things like that. They really do calculate, storyboard out everything. Is so your time will come with Jerome, don't worry. So Shubro64 asks, I think it's really obvious that Bruce is the vigilante due to many reasons. For example, his scream before getting shot and being in jail. So do you think Jim Gordon will find out since he is a detective? Carry on the great work. Thank you, Shubro64. Thank you very much for that. So as for that, I honestly, just comic book logic key kind of again, and what I mean by comic book logic is there's always something, whether it's fantastical or whatever, you can make up for stuff like this, but also real reasons as well. Jim will not find out, just to put it bluntly, Jim is not going to find out that Bruce is this vigilante because he just won't. Maybe one day he'll find out if, you know, like in stories before that Bruce tells him as Batman that he's Bruce, but it's not gonna happen. Like, not even until Bruce puts the cowl on and a little bit after that. And in terms of like what you said with the scream, you could argue that, you know, in that hall, the gunshot, and like when that happened at the same time, Bruce screams, it was blocked out by the gunshot. Comic book logic kind of makes sense too. Like, Jim might not even hear that. But ultimately, like, bottom line, you know, Jim will not find out, regardless of him being a detective, that Bruce is a vigilante, because that's just not the way it goes in the comics. And yes, I know Gotham do like to change things a little bit, but that's not gonna happen. But if it did, that would actually annoy me, and that's how confident I am it's not gonna happen. Jacob Twatface, what a name. Doesn't the Riddler hate Oswald as well? Why are they working together? I think, honestly, I think there may be more to the story. Well, they do not like each other, or they do not like, I'm confusing myself. Basically, they're not the best friends. They'll never have that friendship again. But there are sometimes bygones be bygones. I think that is going to be a case, especially in the villains team up. But no, they're not going to be like chilling out at the new Iceberg Lounge, which we might get at the end of this season with a freaking, you know, rum and coke or something. It's just not going to happen. But yeah, I think, you know, it's just going to continue on to this villain storyline, which is really going to be cool the second half of this season. That's why they're working together. And also, you know, there was the whole storyline of how Oswald got the Riddler out. That's what the Riddler wanted. So as an honorable kind of person, technically honor amongst thieves, Riddler got him out in this next episode from what we saw of the trailer. I am the Knight 95 asks, Selina and Ivy are at each other's throats. Do you think they will ever reconcile? Yeah, possibly. Like, whether that's in the way future or the future, short-term future. Yeah, like, you know, Selina and Ivy in the comics, they've had plenty of friendly, you know, friends moments. In the near future, I don't think so. I don't think they're going to be best buds by the end of this season or anything like that. Lucien Zevi asks, do you think that Riddler and Penguin will be working together in Arkham to escape, or will the Riddler be working from the outside to get Penguin out? After all, Riddler didn't finish signing the paper to put himself in Arkham. Also, I love your channel. Keep up the good work. So honestly, just from the trailer, what we saw like Oswald, and also thank you for the compliment. But yeah, we saw like Riddler and like, you know, shooting his gun, Oswald jumping out, you know, around. There's a van over there. They're going to escape through that. I think the dentist is going to be involved because he will be coming back. And I think that is involved with like Ed's blood coming out of his mouth. So I think there's going to be, yeah, a bit of a struggle in Arkham maybe. But no, I don't think he's going to be working from outside. I think they're going to break out from the inside. Honestly, that storyline's a bit jambled in my own head. Obviously, I don't know how it's exactly going to go. But yeah, I think, yeah, Oswald and Ed will escape together from the inside out. And it might actually be a whole episode long thing, maybe. Actually, maybe not, because we actually see Oswald outside in Gotham City and even talking to Jim Gordon. Akash Chandra asks, who do you think will eventually kill Sophia? If so, how do you think Gotham can transition from a dead Sophia Falcone? Did you like the portrayal of Sophia? I feel like she could have been a little bit more charismatic. So who do I think will eventually kill Sophia? I honestly think that it could actually be Zsasz. Not only is it fitting, it's just like, well, I think it's just fitting, really. He was really upset about Falcone. Then he thought it was Penguin. He betrayed his own boss to go back to the Falcones. But it would be very poetic after all of that when he finds out that Sophia was the one to kill Falcone. Like, that would be so satisfying. I think it has to be Zsasz. But, you know, they could take that away. And, you know, you would say, oh, that would have been better if it was Zsasz. So that is my guess. So did I like Sophia portrayal? I did at the beginning, but then, I don't know. I just kind of thought... as I said, when like Jim went to go see Falcone and stuff like that, I kind of liked all that beginning stuff. But now, as I said, I want it over within the next 2 episodes, which I think it will more or less be. Flicks with Joe asks, hey Boba, what did you think of the first Captain Gordon and Vigilante Bruce confrontation scene? I loved it. Brackets like Future Commissioner and Batman. Love the vids, man. Dude, I loved it. Bruce turning off the lights. Not only that, just that moment, yeah, where, you know, Gordon was there with Bruce. It was so like... There's going to be moments like that when Bruce is in the actual cape in the future, and it was reminiscent of that. It's weird, it's trippy, because I say reminiscent, but it hasn't happened yet. It's one of those weird, you know, wibbly-wobbly, timey-wimey stuff. So, yeah, I loved it, dude. That is what I love Gotham for. I love stuff like that. So Tyrese Pouncey Jr. asks, what do you think, who do you think will lead the villain alliance when it forms? Jerome Valeska. Yeah, definitely, 100 billion%. Connor James asks quite a few things. I don't know if I'll be able to answer all of them, but do you think Lucius is getting more screen time as of late to make way for his role as the gadget guy for Proto Batman? Definitely, 100%. Not only that, because they're going to constantly evolve the suit and the gadgety kind of stuff. I mean, that's kind of obvious anyway, especially if we do get future seasons. So they need someone like Lucius to do that, and as already he made this first briefcase kind of suit, you know, for Bruce in the first place. So yeah. Number 2, how do you think it was possible for Penguin to just come strolling into the office where Ed was? Do you think Jerome allowed Penguin to see Ed as a part of his own plans to escape? You could argue plot holy stuff, but yeah, comic book logic, this is what you're applying it to. Brilliant. I love that. Jerome could have allowed that. You know, he wants Penguin as on his side, so maybe he allowed that. But also maybe it was just like a visitation-y kind of thing. But yeah, that's a bit plot holy, because like maybe they wouldn't allow that. So maybe you could just argue, since Jerome kind of has this, you know, relationship with Penguin now within Arkham, maybe the guards and everyone like that also regard Penguin in kind of a place of not power at all, but a place where he might be allowed to do stuff just, you know, kind of like that. Number 3, how glad are you now that Bruce's Pratt phase is come to a close? I'm very happy. I've already spoke about that earlier, but finally, you know, we can move on now. And number 4, not episode related, when is your merch coming out? Honestly, I would love to do merch, and maybe I will when I get my arse in gear to doing it. I want to do like a Teespring thing, maybe put some stuff on the shirt. I would love to know how many of you guys would actually be up for that. For those of you who are even at this point in the video, would you spend money on a BobaTalks shirt of some description? Let me know. Jafar Milkshakes, Jafar Kri, let me know if you get that, Stargate fans. Do you think that Riddler will run into Jerome? Yeah, definitely. Villains team up. Riddler can't not be involved. And do you think the Riddler-Penguin rivalry is now over? No, I don't think it will ever be over, but, you know, sometimes you put bygones be bygones, you know, to have a common goal. Cal Aden asks, for some reason this episode made me feel like the Black Mask was going to pop out, and specifically referring to the scene with Sophia and Lee discussing who will get the Narrows. Sophia just did a very Black Mask thing with Gwen smashing her hand. What was your opinion on that whole scene? By the way, great videos. Keep up the amazing work, Boba. Thank you very much, dude. Love the comment. And as for the Black Mask thing, I completely agree. And what do they think of that whole scene? Dude, that was brutal. And you don't get that all the time from Gotham, but when this is why I'm glad it's on Fox and not the CW. Stuff like this, like, Gotham has to be dark and gritty, and I'm glad that they allowed that kind of sometimes, you know, stuff like this to fall through the cracks, and, you know, you see literally a bloody hand, or a hand get bloodied very bad. What do I think of it? Sophia is basically a bitch, and, you know, she's power tripping. She doesn't need the Narrows, or, you know, it's kind of like what they were discussing in the episode, like, she's doing it for the sake of doing it. So yeah, I thought it was pretty cool, but obviously dreadful at the same time. And, you know, I can't wait for Sophia to be taken down. Corks Millie asks, do you think that the Mad Hatter will return? If he does, then when? Episode 16, just you wait, Jerome and Mad Hatter, gotta be sweet. Ali Turnbull asks, what did you think of Ivy editing her video on the news to make it flash green? Honestly, things like this make me laugh, because with Jerome or Joker stuff filming themselves and there's a bit of tweaks in video, I love that. Very comic booky, love it. But with Ivy, fair enough if there wasn't the green flashes, but stuff like that cringes me out just a teeny bit, because it's like, there is no meta-y human. I mean, maybe you could argue the potion, one of the potions gave her abilities that we don't know of yet that could somehow interfere with technology. Basically comic book logic, guys. But apart from that, yeah, it's just weird, like, how did the green interfere with the video? Like, she would literally have to edit it in. So unless there is some kind of supernaturally part to a meta-human side, then yeah, I think stuff like that is a bit too far. Whereas, you know, if it's the Joker and there's little tweaks and stuff in the video, it makes sense for me. But Poison Ivy green flashes, Fadl Mamoon, I'm sorry if I pronounced your name wrong. Who do you think could play the Joker if we ever see him? Cameron Monaghan. I don't know if you already know that, but Cameron is playing the Joker in Season 4, which is great news, but it might not be Jerome Valeska. But I've already explained this a billion times, you should know this by now. Jake Campana asks, Ivy is now a known killer by most of the city in the GCPD, which I love, by the way. Like, she's basically already poisoned Ivy out there. It's brilliant. Do you think she'll be arrested soon, or will she continue what she's doing until the season finally? I don't know if her story arc is over, to be honest. I really don't know. But something I'm facepalming about is, guess what? Peyton List has been cast as a lead female in another show, meaning that she can't possibly be in an Ivy, this Ivy next season. So it's like, are we getting a 4th Ivy? By the way, I'm probably going to make a video on that, but teaser. Boys, and she asks, hi Boba, I wanted to ask you something about the episode that bothered me a bit. Where did Ivy get all of those helpers from for the raid on the Wayne Foundation party? Were they all police or something because they had tactical gear and a bulletproof vest? Do you think there was maybe a scene that was removed that explained? So, comic book logic again, but also Ivy honestly could have just gone to Narrows. There's plenty of gangs and stuff like that around Gotham. Could have been, like military kind of people. Could even be GCPD-esque people, but I would say just more guns for hire. She could have easily, as we've already demonstrated in the show, they've demonstrated in the show, that she could take control of them. So it's just as simple as that. Stuff with like that, you honestly just have to say that happened behind the scenes. Obviously they didn't show it, so they just appear, but it just happened behind the scenes. Gotham, if you know where to look, you can find stuff like guns for hire. Anthony Robledo, do you think that Barbara is a weak character now because she's sort of just there without really a plot line of her own? I think her plot line will be coming with the whole race in the second half of this season. But no, I don't think she is a weak character. I love this version of Barbara. Yes, she's not getting as much screen time, but honestly, it's a nice, refreshing Barbara. I like this Barbara. I can get down with this Barbara. I'm looking forward to more screen time with her with the Rachel Ghul part. So yeah, I guess just wait for that. But apart from that, I don't think she's a weak character. No, I like her, how she's the leader of the Sirens for all intents and purposes. She is kind of, alongside Tabitha, the leader. Real sports talk with Ridge Wallace. Do you think that the suit Bruce wore in the last episode is the suit we see for a while? And also, when do you think Alfred and Bruce go into the Batcave? Well, as for the second part of your question, just because I just said it, I want that now. I don't think it will happen this season, but if it does, but I think that's definitely a season 5 thing. It's like, dude, why wouldn't... maybe they just don't have the set, but why wouldn't you put the bat gear you've got on now just on the mannequin that's already there that your father had, etc., etc.? So why not? Why not? There is no excuse to not use that cave. And also, do you think the suit Bruce wore is basically suit we see for a while? No and yes. So but basically we're getting another kind of suit. Like Bruce has got armor in a couple of episodes time. I'm probably showing it on the screen right now, but that's going to be constantly evolving. So which is a cool thing. I'm glad, we don't get the bat suit comes one day, but how do we get to the bat suit? We have plenty of trials and errors. So yeah, this isn't the one. The last one we saw in the last episode isn't the one we see for a while. It's going to be constantly evolving. Aaron Smith asks, that was the best episode of Gotham ever. Selena and Bruce really showed their potential to their comic book selves. Completely agree. Loved it. The Riddler, whether that's, the Foundation event, the lights coming off, I get you, dude. The Riddler twist was amazing. Lee got a serious consequence, which is beautiful. Brilliant. I love Lee, but before it felt like she was too safe, too much plot armor. Brilliant. What are your thoughts on the hate for Poison Ivy, saying she's boring? She's OP, but cool. My thoughts exactly. I love it. I think this Ivy's a strong Ivy. Yes, OP, but that, they're not doing anything that Poison Ivy can't do in the comics, but it's just OP for the current timeline, I guess. Screamed at my TV when I saw how much Lazarus Supporter she had used, though. Yeah, I know what you mean there. I guess I kind of answered the questions along the way. But yeah, it's just also with this whole new Peyton List getting cast in another show, it's like, I'm a bit upset at the same time if this is it for her Ivy, which, I guess it is. So Julian Steferi asks, when do I think that Rachel Ghul will return? Basically in the next few episodes, next 2 or 3 for sure. Maybe in the next 2. He will be coming back. But yeah, that's my prediction, but I can't know for sure. Maybe a little bit more than 2 episodes, but I don't know. Around then. Catherine Black asks, how proud were you on Selena when she asked, I am no hero? This is a step up closer to Catwoman. Completely agree. The whole anti-hero route, so Selena. Cameron Bickendova does such a good job on young Selena. And, especially with next episode that we're getting with Bruce and Selena teaming up. In the next 2 episodes even, it's just going to be even more testament to this. Now, there honestly were more questions that I even had screenshotted to answer, but I do not want to make these videos go on for absolutely forever. So I'm sorry if I didn't answer your question. I know some of you get upset about that, but honestly, just keep posting them, keep nagging at me as well. I will try and answer, I will keep doing this, so your question will be answered one day. Thank you so much for watching this video, guys. If you did enjoy it, hit that thumbs up button, and also type in the comments below if you got this far. Rayesh Al Ghul is a bloody fool. I don't know, that was random, but if you got that far, I love seeing the comments pop up like that. If you're new to this channel and you like this video, there will be more, so why not subscribe? Just, it's easy as hitting that subscribe button, and be sure to hit the bell button as well, just for notifications, so you never miss out on a video like this. Also, if you're confused, I have a community tab on the homepage of my YouTube channel. It's easy, you got home videos, and I think you've got community just there. That is where I post these Q&A posts, so you can submit your questions there. It should be popping up on the screen now. Other than that, guys, you can follow me on social media. Links will be popping up around here on the screen. I have a Discord server. That is in the links below. We nearly have surpassed 100 members. It's brilliant. Love the little community we've got going on there. I have my Patreon page as well. Thank you to my patrons. If you want to check out and support the channel a little bit more, I really appreciate your support. So I'll leave the link for that in the description below. But I am saying too much. Other than that, guys, thank you so much for watching. I hope you have a lovely rest of your day, and I'll see y'all in the next video. Goodbye.